Electric vehicles are taking off worldwide as more people see the benefits of battery-powered mobility. However, when you want to buy an EV, you need to select a model, and a good place to start is knowing which EVs are selling the most, especially in your area, as the data affects a lot of things. This is why in this video, we bring you EV market share among EV makers in the US and Europe. We also focus on a very interesting country that is massively ahead of the rest EV-wise. You will be surprised which country it is. However, before we bite into all the juicy details, don't forget to like our channel and also subscribe so you will always get notified when we post new content. When you buy an electric car, you are voting for the environment with your wallet because EVs are far kinder to the environment than internal combustion engine vehicles. EVs don't emit any carbon emissions. They don't even have exhaust pipes. But you are also buying peace of mind because EVs don't break down as easily, thanks to not using many moving parts that are prone to breaking. Likewise, EVs will save you money because you will find it cheaper to charge the battery than to pay for gas. Gas prices have been on the rise lately, so it is smart money-wise to switch to electric cars. Also, EVs are fun to drive. You can accelerate faster than most other cars on the road, and you will love the quietness of EVs, compared to the din made by internal combustion engines, which becomes worse when the car gets older. With more drivers opting for EVs, car makers have been rushing into EV production and are pumping out new models every day. As a buyer, this is a good thing because there are many options, and you will invariably get something that suits your needs and hopefully within your price range. Companies making EVs include new startups like the poster boy of EV Tesla, Lucid Motors, Rivian, NIO, XPeng, etc. These companies were formed to make EVs specifically. You also have traditional automakers like Ford, BMW, GM, Volkswagen, Peugeot, Mercedes-Benz, Toyota, Hyundai, Subaru, Kia, etc., each trying to recreate itself as an EV company. Some of these companies have announced that they will spend billions of dollars researching, developing, and upgrading their production facilities to make EVs. As a buyer, you can choose an EV from any segment that fits your needs. There are electric SUVs, hatchbacks, sedans, compacts, vans, etc. You can even get an electric city bus. One segment getting lots of attention lately is electric pickup trucks. Rivian brought the first one to the market last year, followed by GM with the electrified Hummer. Ford has followed suit by starting delivery of its F-150 Lightning, based on its uber-popular F-150 gas truck. Other pickups are on the way, including GM's Silverado EV based on its Silverado ICE and Tesla's Cybertruck. Some EV makers boast more market share than the rest. Oftentimes, this is based on the quality of their cars, the features, the price range, availability, brand awareness, etc. We'll now look into which company has which share of the pie, which we know you can't wait to hear. However, we will start with how the EV market is generally doing. We will go over data for the US for the first quarter of 2022. How many EVs were sold in that country? The fact is that the United States is trailing Europe and China when it comes to electrifying its passenger car market. There are many factors at play, including weaker incentives and a preference for pickup trucks, a segment that is just now being electrified, as we mentioned earlier. But the reports are encouraging as we are starting to see a significant increase in EV adoption over the last year. This last quarter particularly proved to be a great year for EV adoption in the United States. Using data from the California Energy Commission, CEC, and the California Air Resources Board, CARB, EV sales in the United States climbed to a record number, over 208,000 during quarter 1, 2022. There are several reasons for this increase, including increasing gas prices and a big Super Bowl EV ad push. However, most of the sales took place in a single state, California. Drivers in the state bought more than 81,000 EVs, representing a 29% jump from last quarter. The figure was 20,000 more than the same period last year. This means Californians bought 39% of all EVs in the United States so far this year, despite representing only 12% of the US population. It is not surprising, as the state offers stronger incentives, which often makes automakers launch new EV models in California first and give local dealers bigger allocations of EV models. Breaking down the numbers for the US by brand, Tesla still owns a massive 75% of the US's electric car market. Its two most affordable cars, the Model Y and the Model 3, sit at the top of the chart, and it seems nobody is touching them anytime soon. Tesla has been crushing the electric auto market in its home country for years. For instance, the company's cars accounted for 79% of all new EVs registered. 2021 was not so good for the company as its share dropped to 70%, but Tesla has now managed to increase its shares. Tesla has recently opened another plant in Texas, where its headquarters is now located, meaning it can even ramp up its US production significantly. While this may not continue forever as more manufacturers are unleashing more models on the market, the US EV market is still highly dependent on Tesla's production and deliveries. The Model Y was by far the best-selling EV for the quarter, moving almost 110,000 units. It was followed by the Model 3, with 46,707 deliveries. Ford's Mustang Mach-E came in a distant third with 6,734 units. It is followed by another Tesla, the Model X. Other models in the top 10 include Hyundai Ioniq 5, Kia EV6, Tesla Model S, Nissan Leaf, Kia Niro, and Audi e-tron, in that order. During this period, EVs took 5% of the US auto market, the highest ever. Over in Europe, the auto market in general is suffering a slump, with sales in March dropping a significant 19% year-on-year. However, in the EV segment, the reverse is the case. According to EV volumes data shared by Jose Pontes, European drivers registered about 250,000 new passenger plug-in cars in March, which is 10% more than a year ago. More importantly, it's the second highest monthly result ever. The plug-in market share improved further in March to reach 22%, after clocking 20% in February. However, looking closely at the data, you will see that the plug-in segment was driven only by all-electric cars, which noted a healthy growth rate of 47%, while plug-in hybrid declined by 22% year-over-year. That is not a bad thing, as plug-in hybrids are meant as a stopgap before BEVs can take over. About 159,000 pure electric vehicles were registered, meaning a 14% market share, while PHEVs moved about 91,000 units in March. This means Europe has seen more than 565,000 electric vehicles registered in 2022. This is about 21% of the sales of all vehicles on the continent. Breaking Europe's figures down by brands and models, the Tesla Model 3 took the first position, with 23,198 units in March and 32,901 for the first quarter. Not surprisingly, the Model Y came second with 19,500 delivered in March and 26,637. Tesla numbers usually ramp up toward the end of the quarter. Meanwhile, the Model Y is expected to overtake the Model 3 with production ramping up at Tesla's newly opened Giga Berlin. Coming third place was the Fiat 500 City EV, selling 6,554 in March, a record, and 13,931 for the whole quarter. The Kia Niro EV claimed the fourth position with 5,319 units in March, slightly ahead of the Volkswagen ID.4 with 5,070. The Fiat sold 13,931 for the first quarter, while the ID.4 moved 11,138. Other models in the top 10 for March include Ford Kuga PHV with 4,938, Renault Zoe with 4,273, Peugeot E208 with 4,270, Hyundai Kona Electric with 4,204, and the Audi Q4 e-tron with 4,146. The rest of the quarter's top 10 include Peugeot 3008 PHEV with 11,056, Audi Q4 e-tron with 10,947, Hyundai Kona Electric with 10,826, Renault Zoe with 10,774, and Ford Kuga PHEV with 10,678. In Norway, the wonderland for EVs, Plug-in autos took a whopping market share of 91.94% in March, with 86.1% being full battery electric cars. Overall, the electric auto market sold 16,238 units, some 6% up year on year. Tesla's Model Y took the top spot in March, followed by the Model 3. Petrol-powered cars took a tiny 2.8%. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you in the next video.